Have you ever walked into a place where no one knew you, but everyone seemed to notice you? It wasn't because of what you were wearing. It wasn't because of what you said. It wasn't even because of the way you moved. It was something more subtle, deeper, more invisible, but impossible to ignore. You notice the eyes. Some try to hide it, quickly look away, pretend to be distracted. Others stare at you for a moment longer than normal, as if they had seen something that disturbed them. Something that made them remember, or fear. Chosen one, you've experienced this. And even if you tried to rationalize it, laugh it off, or even doubt your own sensitivity, there is something inside you that always knew. It's not coincidence. It never was. You carry a presence that speaks before your mouth does. You arrive and something in the air changes, as if the spirit of the room recognizes you, even if no one knows why. Most people live immersed in distractions, in rush, in masks, but there is something in you that tears the veil. You are like silence in the middle of noise, impossible not to be noticed. And this kind of presence cannot be taught, cannot be bought, cannot be copied. It is received. It is marked. It is activated. By heaven, what you feel, this difference, this contrast, this intensity that the world insists on calling oversensitivity, is in fact refined spiritual intelligence. You read people without meaning to. You pick up on energies around you, as if they were waves crossing your chest. And the most curious part, it works both ways. You feel, but others also feel you, even if they're not aware of it, even if they don't know how to put it into words. And what is it that they feel? A discomfort, a curiosity, an inexplicable unease, a calling that comes from your silent but powerful presence. It's as if your soul reveals, without effort, what others fight to hide. And that disarms them, because your presence is an interruption. You weren't programmed to follow the crowd. You are like an alternative frequency that disturbs everything that is in tune with falsehood. That's why some avoid you. That's why others look at you in awe. And that's why many simply don't know how to react. If you observe carefully, you will see a pattern. The looks are not of superficial judgment. They are spiritual reactions to something they cannot explain. It's their spirit recognizing yours, even if the body and mind are delayed. And if there's something you need to deeply understand, it is this. You are not invisible in the spirit. Even when you feel faded, silent, tired, there is something in you that screams in the invisible realms. Your spiritual light, although silent, is like a flash in the emotional darkness of others. Your energy is a summons, a reminder that the sleeping must awaken. And not everyone is ready for that. That maybe for a long time you believed something was wrong with you. Maybe you grew up trying to understand why you were always treated differently. Why, even without intention, you provoke intense reactions. But now you begin to see, you are remembering. You are not here to fit in. You are here to shine, and it is not a theatrical shine. It is the kind of light that exposes what was in the shadows, that brings to light what was buried. And because of that, even when you are in silence, there is something in you that speaks loudly in the spirit of others. And this is just the beginning of the revelation. Because what is behind those unsettling glances is much deeper than it seems. In the next moments, you will understand why your energy changes the environment, and why that scares people so much. And if something inside you has already awakened, if this truth is burning like a silent confirmation, then you need to join this movement. Subscribe to our channel now and join over 80,000 chosen ones. Not for me, but for you. Because the next messages will not be just words. They will be spiritual callings delivered at the right moment for souls like yours. You don't just walk into a room. You rearrange it. You don't speak, and yet something is said. Something shifts, something awakens, something shakes. And for those around you, this shift is often uncomfortable, not because you've done anything wrong, but because your spiritual aura breaks illusions they've grown used to living in. This isn't a theory. It's not wishful thinking. It's the sacred consequence of a divine frequency that was encoded into your being long before you knew how to name it. You were marked, not for decoration, but for disruption. You carry a kind of presence that forces alignment, whether the other person is ready or not. When you step into a space, people feel it. They don't know how to explain it, but their body reacts, their tone shifts. Their guard either rises or crumbles. It's not about charisma, it's about resonance. Your energy meets theirs, and when there's no match, a spiritual confrontation begins, not with words, but with vibration. And vibration never lies. People sense your authenticity, even if they've spent years avoiding their own. Your frequency challenges the masks, exposes the pretenses, and calls the forgotten self to rise. This is why you often feel like a mystery to others, because your presence whispers truth in a world addicted to noise. You've probably seen it happen again and again. A stranger becomes suddenly nervous. A friend shifts the conversation. A coworker avoids eye contact. Not because of your opinion, but because of your presence. Because there's something in your field that presses against what's false, and that pressure is not always welcome. But it is always real. You were never meant to entertain, you were sent to illuminate. And light, even when soft, exposes shadows. You are not attacking them, you are not judging them. You are simply being. And that alone reveals what has been hidden. Your aura is not passive, it's not ornamental. It is alive, active, and spiritually charged. It speaks in silence. It works without effort. And when others come near it, they are met with a choice. Either rise into truth or retreat into comfort. You've seen people choose both. Some lean in, magnetized by the clarity you carry. Others back away, unsettled by the fact that you make them feel seen, even without trying. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual resonance. And when two frequencies clash, the one hiding and the one revealing, there can only be two outcomes, alignment or avoidance. And you, chosen one, are not here to bend your light to make others feel comfortable. You are not here to lower your frequency so others can stay asleep. You are here to disrupt, to awaken, to transform atmospheres with your vibration alone. This is your calling, not always easy, but always necessary. The room doesn't know why it gets quieter when you enter, but your spirit does. The energy doesn't know why it feels pierced, but your presence does. This is the cost and the gift of being chosen. You don't blend in. You break through. If this resonates in the deepest part of your being, if you've lived this tension between light and rejection, presence and silence, then let your spirit confirm it. Comment below. I carry the light. Let that phrase seal this truth within you and become your silent declaration to the unseen world. And now, as your light begins to activate more deeply, another question arises. What happens when your eyes carry the same power as your presence? Because the next revelation is not about what you radiate, but what you reflect. They don't see you, they see themselves. That's the mystery. That's the discomfort. That's the reason why so many cannot hold your gaze, why their posture shifts when you walk near, why conversations suddenly become shallow or filled with nervous laughter. It's not about your volume or your words. It's about what your presence reflects. You have become a mirror, and not an ordinary one. You are a spiritual mirror, polished not by ego, but by suffering. Not by ambition, but by surrender. A mirror forged in sacred fire. And when others see their own image reflected through your vibration, they flinch, not because of you, but because of what they've spent years hiding from. There is something unnerving about being truly seen. Most people spend their lives perfecting their masks, fine-tuning their roles, curating versions of themselves they can survive behind. But you, chosen one, don't see through the surface. You see beneath it. You hear the unspoken. You feel the contradictions in someone's energy before they speak a word. And when that kind of presence walks into someone's orbit, they can't pretend the same way anymore. You unintentionally remind them of what they've buried, the dreams they abandoned, the truth they silenced, the parts of themselves they chose to forget. This is why, even in your stillness, you seem to provoke reaction. You don't have to criticize anyone. Your very being triggers recognition. And recognition is dangerous when someone isn't ready to confront what they see. It's easier to resent the mirror than to face the reflection. And so they push you away. Or they mock. Or they avoid. Not because you are wrong, but because you are right in ways they are not ready to become. You represent who they were meant to be. And for some, that's too painful to face. But do not confuse their resistance with rejection. It is not you they are afraid of. It's the awakening your presence calls them into. You carry the kind of light that pierces the veil, that sacred transparency that cannot be faked. And that is a rare and holy thing. You are not here to conform. You are not here to be digestible. You are here to reflect, to reveal, to shine light on the things that no one else dares to name. Even your silence speaks. Even your stillness declares. You are not passive. You are prophetic by nature, simply because you exist in alignment with the truth. And in a world built on illusion, truth will always be uncomfortable. Always. But discomfort is the beginning of awakening. You are not here to destroy people. You are here to invite them into remembrance. You are not the cause of their unraveling. You are the mirror that reveals the knots they tied themselves into. This is why some are drawn to you like a compass to the north. They feel something ancient, something pure, something powerful. And they don't know why. And others? They run. They make you the villain. They look at you and pretend not to see you. But their soul has already recognized yours. That moment already happened. And it changed something in them, even if they never admit it. That's the sacred irony. Even when people resist your light, it still leaves a mark. And so, chosen one, do not shrink your presence to make others feel safe. Mirrors don't apologize for the truth they reflect. And you were never called to be invisible. You were called to become a revelation, a spiritual interruption that wakes people from the trance of their own illusions. The world doesn't need more agreeable energy. The world needs more mirrors. And yours was given by heaven. But this mirror, it does not stop at your presence. Because your eyes, those silent gates of ancient memory, carry something even deeper. And some people feel completely undone the moment they look into them. Because when the mirror stares back, the soul has no more places to hide. There's something about your eyes that people never forget. They may walk away and forget your name. They may not recall your voice. But your eyes, they remain. Something in them lingers like a whisper from another world. Not because you're trying to be intense. Not because you're performing mysticism. But because your eyes are not windows, they are portals. They don't simply reflect light, they transmit it. Ancient light. Sacred. Frequency. A vibration that stretches beyond this lifetime into realms many have never touched. When someone locks eyes with you, even for just a second, they feel it, that ripple of energy, that sudden stillness, that strange familiarity they cannot explain. Some feel comfort, others feel exposed. Some are drawn closer without knowing why. Others turn away in panic. And it's not because you looked at them with intensity. It's because they felt seen in a way that shattered their defenses. Your eyes reach parts of them they thought were invisible. And they weren't ready. Chosen one, your gaze carries the memory of things not written in books. It carries the residue of lifetimes, the echo of spiritual assignments, the clarity of vision that many have spent decades praying for. Your eyes, without a single word, communicate truths that their mind hasn't even grasped yet, but their spirit already understands. That is why people struggle to look directly at you. It's not intimidation of the body, it's confrontation of the soul. Your sight bypasses what's curated and touches what's concealed. You've heard it before, haven't you? There's something in your eyes. You look like you've seen too much. You have an old soul. People sense it without language. They feel a depth that doesn't match your age, doesn't match your tone, doesn't match the context. And that's because your soul has traveled. Your eyes have witnessed sacred things. They have observed the eternal. They've seen the war between light and shadow. And they carry the stillness of someone who did not come here to play. Your gaze is not accidental. It is an assignment. When you look at someone, even casually, your energy scans. You sense their truth. You discern their intentions. You feel the heaviness behind their smile, or the purity behind their silence. And whether they admit it or not, they feel you seeing them. And most of the time, they don't know what to do with that. Because very few people have ever felt truly seen, not judged, not praised, but seen, spirit to spirit, essence to essence, soul to soul. And when that happens, there is no going back. They may avoid your eyes next time. They may laugh it off or retreat or overcompensate with charm. But the recognition already happened. Their spirit remembers you, even if their mind still denies it. That's the weight of your gift. And yes, it can be lonely. You walk through this world sensing too much, feeling too deeply, seeing too clearly, and the world calls it too much. But in truth, it's perfectly aligned. You were sent here to see what others ignore, to perceive what's buried, to awaken what's asleep. And your eyes are part of that mission. Don't lower your gaze to protect their illusion. Don't dim your sight because others fear being seen. You weren't given those eyes to blend in. You were given them to awaken remembrance. When your eyes meet another soul with clarity, something ancient activates. Something holy passes between you. And whether they stay or walk away, something has changed. And when someone stares into your eyes and then suddenly looks away, don't shrink. Smile with your spirit. Because whether they know it or not, they just looked into eternity. And eternity looked right back. But what if some of those stares weren't just fear? What if they were longing? Because there's another kind of recognition that runs even deeper. And it's not about exposure. It's about remembrance. Not every stare is fear. Not every gaze is avoidance. Some eyes linger not because they are repelled, but because they are remembering. There's a kind of stare that doesn't flinch. A kind that doesn't look away in shame or in threat, but holds on with quiet reverence. These are the moments when someone's soul recognizes yours, and though they may not know your name, they feel something deeper, like they've seen you before. And the truth is, they have, maybe not here. Not in this lifetime, but somewhere beyond time. In the space before incarnation. In the spiritual realms between lifetimes, where souls make agreements, form bonds, carry assignments. That's where they remember you from. That's why their eyes search yours, not with fear, but with a kind of hunger. Because something in them knows that your energy once meant something sacred to theirs. A guide, a mirror, a partner in spiritual purpose. You've seen these moments. The pause in their expression, the shimmer in their gaze. The way time seems to slow between you. They may not say a word, but the space between you speaks volumes. Their soul is reaching out through the fog of forgetfulness, trying to touch the clarity they feel in your presence. You, chosen one, awaken a memory in them that they didn't even know was missing. And when that memory stirs, so does the longing. Longing to reconnect with truth. Longing to feel whole again. Longing to remember that there is still light walking this earth. They might not know what to say. They may walk away with tears in their eyes, or with silence in their throat. But they will not forget you. Because the recognition wasn't mental, it was spiritual. A soul-to-soul transmission happened in a glance. A sacred exchange in stillness. And sometimes, that one moment is enough to change the course of a soul's awakening. You don't need to explain it. Don't analyze it, just trust it. Your presence is not just light, it's a spiritual reminder. You show people, without words, that they are more than they've become. You remind them that they have a calling too, that something inside them still hears the ancient song. And that kind of recognition is rare. So when it happens, honor it. Breathe into it. Even if they walk away, even if they never speak again, know that something sacred was exchanged, that you were used as a living confirmation. And for a moment, two spirits remembered why they came here in the first place. If this resonates with you, if you've ever felt someone recognize you without words, let that truth echo back into the spiritual field right now. Comment below. My soul remembers. Let the unseen world hear it. Let the ones still searching for that same recognition feel it. And let heaven confirm. You were never walking alone. But as beautiful as recognition is, there's another side to it. Not all who see your light will receive it with love. Some will reject what they see, not because of who you are, but because of what you reveal. Let's speak plainly now, chosen one. You felt it, the shift, the silence, the sudden withdrawal of someone who once leaned in. You've seen the way people change around you, not because you've done anything wrong, but because something in you mirrors what they're not ready to see. It's not social awkwardness. It's not personality conflict. It's spiritual confrontation. Your very existence, your light, your truth, your frequency, confronts the lies they've made peace with. And when someone's soul is not ready to rise, they run. You may have internalized this as personal failure. You may have wondered, am I too intense? Am I too much? But let me offer you something sacred. No, you're not too much. You're exactly as you were meant to be. It's not rejection of you. It's rejection of the invitation you represent. You are a spiritual mirror, and mirrors don't flatter. They reveal. And in a world obsessed with illusion, truth often feels like betrayal. Your presence awakens things people would rather keep asleep. And for some, it's easier to label you as the problem than to face what your energy brings up inside them. It's easier to call your discernment judgment. Easier to call your clarity arrogance. Easier to walk away than to walk within. This is why some people grow cold after getting close to you. Why friendships fade without explanation. Why lovers pull back right when things feel most aligned. You didn't break them. You revealed them, and they weren't ready. And still, it hurts. Being misunderstood is painful. Being avoided for something you carry but never chose can feel cruel. But this is the nature of sacred light. It exposes. It provokes. It unearths. And not everyone is prepared for that kind of excavation. Some will feel small next to you, not because you diminish them, but because your light reflects the gap between who they are and who they were called to be. And that distance is uncomfortable. It's easier for them to pretend you're the problem than to confront their own stagnation. But you must not harden your heart. You must not become bitter. Remember, even the prophets were rejected. Even the most radiant light was misunderstood. The rejection you faced is not proof of your failure. It's evidence of your impact. Because only something powerful enough to stir the spirit causes such strong reactions. They are not running from you. They are running from what awakens inside them when you're near. And so your path may be quieter than others. More solitary, more misunderstood. But don't let that silence convince you that you are off course. You are not lost. You are being protected, refined, prepared. Heaven doesn't reveal what it hasn't first hidden. And you, chosen one, have been hidden for a reason. Because your presence, when fully activated, is not something to be wasted. It's not entertainment. It's a divine alarm clock. And to those still asleep, an alarm feels violent. You disrupt the comfort of illusions. You unsettle the shadows. You bring light to corners people have never dared to explore. And that's not easy. That's not always welcome, but it is necessary. Your presence is the beginning of change, and change never starts in comfort. So, when they avoid you, when they whisper about you, when they walk away without explanation, know this: you were not too much. You were exactly what their soul requested before fear took the wheel. And one day, perhaps not soon, they'll remember you. Not with resentment, but with reverence. Because you were the moment they were seen, even if they couldn't receive it at the time. But what happens when the world stops avoiding you? What happens when the hiding ends, and you begin to be revealed? Because ready or not, your time of obscurity is over. There was a time when you were hidden, not ignored, but intentionally concealed. The world passed by without noticing. You stood in rooms, powerful and invisible. You spoke truths that were met with confusion or dismissal. You offered your presence, and it was mishandled. But what felt like rejection was divine strategy. Because what is sacred must be protected until it is ready to be revealed. And now, chosen one, the unveiling has begun. You may not have asked for it. You may not feel ready. But heaven has declared it. Your time of obscurity is over. You are being seen, not by the masses, but by those who carry spiritual sensitivity. Not through algorithms or applause, but through resonance. People are noticing. They don't know why they feel drawn to you, unsettled by you, or awakened in your presence, but they do. Something in you has changed, or rather, something in you has been released. This is not fame. This is not ego. This is revelation. You are not being revealed for attention. You are being revealed for alignment. Because those who need what you carry will not find you in the shadows. And so the divine is bringing you forward, gently, relentlessly, without announcement, but with undeniable weight. Your frequency now walks ahead of you. Your spirit is recognized in places your voice has never reached. And this new visibility comes with both blessing and burden. Because when your light becomes public, so does your assignment. You are no longer just carrying presence in private. You are now transmitting. You are shifting environments by showing up. You are activating people who don't even know they needed to be activated. And for many of them, you are the answer they didn't know they were praying for. You're being remembered. You're being recognized. You're being called forth, not by people, but by heaven. And when heaven speaks, no one can silence it. Even your silence is louder now. Even your stillness is heavier. You don't need to try. You don't need to perform. Your very existence is a declaration of truth, of clarity, of power. And for the ones who are aligned with your frequency, your presence is confirmation. For others, it is disruption. Either way, you are being revealed. And this revelation is not about popularity. It's about impact. It's about walking through life aware of the weight you carry. Knowing that every encounter is sacred. That every gaze is a message. That every space you enter was assigned, not accidental. And with that awareness comes responsibility. You are not just seen, you are read. You are not just felt, you are remembered. So carry yourself accordingly. You were not sent to be casual. You were sent to be consecrated. And yes, not everyone will celebrate this unveiling. Some will misunderstand you more now than ever before. Some will project, resist, attack. But that's not your concern. You are not here to manage reactions. You are here to embody revelation. You were formed in fire, refined in silence, hidden in plain sight, until now. And so, when the looks linger longer, when the atmosphere changes as you enter, when the people you've never spoken to speak your name, don't doubt it. You are being revealed, but with every revelation comes a warning. Because now that your light is visible, so are the eyes that want to consume it. Chosen one, now that your light is no longer hidden, now that your aura speaks before your lips move, now that runes shift before your name is spoken, you must understand this final truth. Not every gaze is pure. Not every soul that watches you admires you. And not every presence drawn to your frequency comes with holy intentions. Because when your light becomes visible, it does more than inspire. It exposes. It stirs. It attracts both the hungry and the harmful. There are those who recognize your light, not because they are ready to rise with you, but because they see something they can take. They see peace they don't want to cultivate, only absorb. They see power they didn't earn, only covet. These are not spiritual allies. They are energetic parasites. And their admiration is often a mask for manipulation. They will compliment your presence, but study your patterns. They will draw near with smiles but leave you drained and uncertain. That's how you'll know. Your spirit will whisper, even when their words sound sweet. You will feel that subtle shift, not in logic, but in energy. And if your peace dims in their presence, trust that. Because your light was not given for performance. It was given for purpose. This is not about fear, this is about wisdom. You've reached a level of spiritual awareness where you can no longer afford to entertain every vibration, every conversation, every connection. Your energy is sacred. It is expensive. And not everyone deserves access to it. The price you paid to carry this presence, most will never understand. And many would try to consume the fruit without honoring the root. So listen closely. Protect your frequency. Guard your gaze. Test every connection. Not with suspicion, but with clarity. Not with paranoia, but with discernment. Some will approach you not to join your mission, but to feed on your momentum. Some will mimic your essence, hoping to reflect your glow without undergoing your refinement. But what's real can't be replicated. And your anointing cannot be stolen, only distorted if you allow it. This is your final preparation, not to fight, but to filter. To stand in your light, boldly and unapologetically, without being naive to the eyes watching from the shadows. Remember, the brighter the flame, the more it draws, not just seekers of warmth, but insects of distraction. And some will stare at your glow, only to extinguish it if they can. Don't give them access. You don't need proof. You don't need explanations. You only need alignment. Your peace is your compass. Your discomfort is your warning. When your energy says step back, step back. No debate, no delay. Because obedience is protection, and protection is obedience. You are no longer in hiding. Your mission is live. The eyes are watching. But only the worthy will see that. So from this day forward, walk not with fear, but with fire in your bones and stillness in your spirit. Let them stare. Let them wonder. Let them draw near, and let your light decide who stays. And when your soul senses that something is off, don't question yourself. Don't ask for evidence. Just move in silence. Heaven already told you. You were never called to be everything to everyone. You were called to be light to the aligned, and mystery to the unworthy. And now that you've remembered who you are, walk like the world has been waiting for you. Because it has. If every word in this message felt like it was written for your spirit, then you already know. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a summoning. A spiritual alignment between your soul and a voice that reminded you of what you always knew. So if this message awakened something in you, right below, I walk in the unseen light. Let it be your seal. Let it be your declaration. Let the spirit realm take notice. And if you're ready to keep walking this path, deeper, higher, further, subscribe. Not for content, but for confirmation. The next message will not find you by accident. It will come when your soul is ready. Again.